So yesterday I put up a poll on my community tab that simply read, "Is Stefanos Tsitsipas unsportsmanlike?" Many of you were confused by this as there is no context or specific reasoning initially why I posted this. As I'm sure a lot of you all know, Shoegate has been dominating the tennis headlines recently due to the shoe trouble Stefanos had in his City Open matches last week. This situation first blew up in his quarterfinal encounter with flashy Frenchman Benoit Paire when at 2-love in the second set, the Greek player's shoelace broke, which forced a pause in the match. Benoit wasn't too happy about this and mocked Stefanos by stopping mid-match as well to mess around with his shoes. After this whole ordeal, Paire clearly looked mentally affected and didn't win a game since, which led a few people to speculate that this was done on purpose. One Reddit user commented, "He did the same thing down love 30 against Tommy Paul. Suddenly he needed his dad to redo his laces for him. Childish." Quite a few others shared this sentiment, with another person saying, "Tsitsipas is such a dirty player. He's done this for the third consecutive match." While these comments were very critical of Steph, the one that got my attention the most and the one that inspired the poll was this, which reads, "He does a lot of unsportsmanlike stuff and he isn't called out for doing it." This got my attention because there have been claims in the past of immature and unsportsmanlike behavior by Tsitsipas, and I wanted to see if my viewers were aware of it or believed that his previous actions were unsportsmanlike. I'll get into those in a minute, but first, I wanted to address Shoegate and all the controversy surrounding it. Though it seemed like Benoit was visibly upset at Stefanos for his shoe troubles, their embrace at the net after the match left many confused as to why Benoit will hug him and said that it was nothing against Steph. We then began to realize that the anger was directed towards the Empire for this allowing to go on for so long without a time violation warning or something. After this match, Steph talked about and explained his shoe problem, saying, "My laces are breaking on the last hole when I'm sliding on the forehand side. My laces touch the ground. There's a friction that causes the breakage of my shoelaces." In a way, Paire was right to be upset. It has happened many times in the past. I've been struggling with it. I'm not doing it on purpose. Some people think I'm doing it on purpose. It always happens in crucial moments when I'm trying really hard to give everything on the court. It's very irritating for me to keep playing with a shoe that's not tight. It can fall off at any moment during the rally. Once in Barcelona it happened. When speaking on the Frenchman's funny fiasco, he continued, "That was funny. I didn't know whether to laugh or to keep a serious face. It was hilarious." After seeing these quotes and the reaction afterwards from both Paire and Steph, I do believe Stefanos was genuinely troubled by his shoe and was very frustrated by what happened. I'm also glad that he didn't take Benoit's acts too seriously, because I think we can all agree that it was really funny and entertaining. Stefanos' shoe trouble may soon become non-existent though, as he recently hinted at a future sponsorship with New Balance, but in the meantime, he must hope his Adidas will hold up for Montreal. Going back to the topic at hand, I've gathered all of the possible evidence that Bast's claims of poor sportsmanship brought forth against Stefanos. First is his mistreatment of ball children from time to time. The issue first arose in the 2018 Swiss Indoor Open during his quarterfinal match against Daniil Medvedev, when he snatched his freshly strong racket from the ball girl. He would later issue an apology for his actions on Twitter. A similar instance transpired in Dubai this year during his quarterfinal matchup against Poland's Hubert Hurkacz. When Stefanos dropped the second set in a tiebreaker, he angrily snatched the towel from the girl with his racket, which caused quite an uproar. I really like Stefanos. His game is very beautiful and entertaining. However, that's not the first time that he misbehaves towards ball kids. Steph must change his behavior. This kind of reaction is unacceptable. This is gross. Why is he always so angry and aggressive towards ball girls especially? However, many defended Steph and believed the internet was being too harsh towards the 20-year-old. It's a sporting arena, give the guy a break. If people behaved on court as they would in day-to-day life, sport would be really boring. Y'all would never talk about the fact he's one of the only guys that says please to them and waits for them to bring him his towel rather than just charging straight to his chair majority of the time though. Steph has also had some issues with line people, as for example, he blew up at one of the line judges during this year's edition of the Australian Open. While in the middle of a battle versus Nicolas Bachelet in the third round, a poor call and a time violation led the Greek to shout at the linesman, "F your house," and said that they F'd him. In his press conference after the match, he apologized for his actions, saying, "I said some really bad things. I regret saying them, but I really wanted this really bad. At that moment, it felt like it was slipping out, you know." He kind of found comfort and confidence after that, so I was really frustrated. I didn't quite think what I was saying. I wish I could change that and wouldn't say that. It's not the right attitude. Another on-court outburst was the demolition of the headphones in his ATP Next Gen Finals semifinal match against Andrei Rublev. The headphones were used for on-court coaching, but he clearly wasn't a fan of that and even said this after the incident, telling Sport 360, "The coaching on court, I'm not really a big fan of, to be honest with you." The final part of this mini-series is his conflicts with other players. In his quarterfinal matchup with fellow next-gener Alexander Zverev, Tsitsipas was taking a tower break which Zverev patiently waited for him to finish. This caused the 25-second shot clock to go a little over the allotted time, leading the chair umpire to give Sasha a time violation warning. Zverev pleaded with Stefanos to tell the imp his side of the story, but wanted nothing of the debate and minded his own business. Though many criticized Steph for his lack of action, many others mentioned that he possibly did this because of some controversial statements that Sasha made about him in the past. After Stefanos defeated Sasha last year in Toronto, Zverev, instead of praising his opponent, said this.
"I'm very honest with you guys. I always say when the opponent played better, I'm probably one of the most honest guys on tour. Today was an absolute pathetic match from, I don't even think he played well."
What was the effect of the crowd support for your opponent? The crowd support for your opponent?
It was great. I was very happy for him. Thanks.
The next player he's had on-court conflict with is Denis Shapovalov. In the Miami Open match this year, Stefanos tapped his racket on the ground midpoint as a clear effort to distract his opponent. Take a look for yourself.
It's wonderful from Shapovalov.
Understandably, tennis fans condemn this behavior, calling it disgusting and unsportsmanlike above many others. Last but not least is this infamous feud with Russian Daniil Medvedev. If you don't already know this story, it started when Stefanos took an emergency bathroom break in the third set of their 2018 Miami Open encounter. Funny enough, the Russian player did the exact same thing after the second set. Not only did this frustrate Daniil, but Stefanos' lack of apology for hitting a few net courts did the trick as well. Medvedev said, "You know that you have to say sorry, right?" To which Tsitsipas replied, "Okay, sorry." After the match, Stefanos. Many people were on the side of Daniil's because they felt that Steph's comment at the net was immature and uncalled for, which I agreed. He later apologized for his actions as well, but blocked the Russian on social media. Taking all of these instances into account, I definitely believe that there are some sportsmanship issues at hand, but I feel that the bigger problem is the immaturity and poor self-control the Greek sometimes possesses. It's clear that he has a lot more growing up to do, which he openly acknowledges. With all of these things, Steph oftentimes proves to be well beyond his years, not only with his play, but with his professionalism and philosophic approaches. He's not perfect by any stretch, but one has to acknowledge his efforts to better himself and his actions, and judging by this Instagram photo, it seems as if he and Daniil are in the men in terms of their relationship as well. To close this video out, I do believe Stefanos has his unsportsmanlike moments, but I see most of his antics as immaturity more than anything else. It's important to remember that while poor behavior shouldn't be tolerated, age and pressure from the tour should be taken into account because these are important factors to consider. Do you believe Stefanos Tsitsipas is unsportsmanlike, or feel that the majority of these actions were warranted and that it's just a part of him growing up. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below and subscribe and click the notification bell so that you get notified whenever we post new content. Also, while on the topic of Stefanos, today marks the first time he is inside the top 5 of the ATP rankings, so congratulations to him on that. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time here on Grand Slam Tennis News Today.